March 28th, 1 Samuel 4 through 8. 1 Samuel 4. Thus the word of Shemuel was to all Israel. And Israel went out to battle against the Philistines, and encamped beside Eben Hazir, while the Philistines encamped at Aphek. And the Philistines put themselves in battle array against Israel. And when the battle spread, Israel was stricken by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 men of the army in the field. And when the people came into the camp, the elders of Israel said, Why has Yah smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the covenant of Yah from Shiloh to us, so that he comes into our midst and save us from the hand of our enemies. And the people sent to Shiloh, and they brought from there the ark of the covenant of Yah of hosts, dwelling between the cherubim. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of Elohim. And when the ark of the covenant of Yah came into the camp, Israel shouted so loudly that the earth shook. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, What is this? What is the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And when they knew that the ark of Yah had come into the camp, the Philistines were afraid, for they said, Elohim has come into the camp. And they said, Woe to us, for it has never been like this before. Woe to us, who shall deliver us from the hand of these mighty Elohim? These are the Elohim who struck the Mitzrites with all the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong and be men, you Philistines, that you do not become servants of the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Be men and fight. And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, and every man fled to his tent. And the slaughter was very great. And there fell of Israel 30,000 foot soldiers. And the ark of Elohim was captured. And the two sons of Eli died, Hophni and Phinehas. And a man of Benjamin ran from the battle line the same day, and came to Shiloh with his garments torn and dirt on his head. And he came in and saw Eli sitting on a seat by the wayside watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of Elohim. And the man came into the city and reported it, and all the city cried out. And Eli heard the noise of the outcry and said, What is the noise of this uproar? And the man came hastily and informed Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were so dim that he was unable to see. And the man said to Eli, I am he who came from the battle, and I fled today from the battle line. And he said, What is the matter, my son? And the messenger answered and said, Israel has fled before the Philistines, and there has been a great slaughter among the people. And your two sons have died, Hophni and Phinehas, and the ark of Elohim has been captured. And it came to be, when he made mention of the ark of Elohim, that Eli fell off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and his neck was broken, and he died. For the man was old and heavy, and he ruled Israel 40 years. And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas, was pregnant, about to hear, when she heard the news of the ark of Elohim was captured, that her father-in-law and her husband were dead. She bowed herself and gave birth, because her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the woman who stood by her said, Do not fear, for you have borne a son. But she did not answer, nor did she set her heart to it. And she called the child Ichabod, saying, The esteem has departed from Israel, because the ark of Elohim was taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband. And she said, the esteem has departed from Israel, for the ark of Elohim was taken. 1 Samuel 5. And the Philistines took the ark of Elohim, and brought it from Eben Haezer to Ashdod. And the Philistines took the ark of Elohim, and brought it into the house of Dagon, and set it by Dagon. And the Ashdodites rose early in the morning, and saw Dagon fallen on its face to the ground before the ark of Elohim. So they took Dagon, and put it in its place again. And they rose early the next morning, and saw Dagon fallen on its face to the ground before the ark of Elohim. And the head of Dagon, and both the palms of its hands cut off on the threshold. Only Dagon itself was left of it. That is why, to this day, the priests of Dagon, all who come into Dagon's house, do not tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod. But the hands of Yah was heavy on the Ashdodites, and he wasted them and struck them with tumors, Ashdod and its borders. And when the men of Ashdod saw this, they said, Let not the ark of the Elohim of Israel remain with us, for his hand has been hard on us, and on Dagon our mighty one. Then they sent and gathered to them all the princes of the Philistines, and said, What do we do with the ark of Elohim of Israel, of the Elohim of Israel? And they answered, Let the ark of the Elohim of Israel be removed from Gath. So they removed the ark of the Elohim of Israel. And it came to be after they removed it, that the hand of Yah was against the city with a very great destruction, and he struck the men of the city, from the least to the greatest, and tumors broke out on them. And they sent the ark of Elohim to Ekron, and it came to be, as the ark of Elohim came to Ekron, that the Ekronites cried out, saying, They have removed the ark of the Elohim of Israel to us, to kill us and our people. And they sent and gathered together all the princes of the Philistines, and said, Send away the ark of the Elohim of Israel, and let it return to its own place, so that it does not kill us and our people. For there had come a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of Elohim was very heavy there. And the men who did not die were stricken with tumors, and the cry of the city went up to the heavens. 1 Samuel 6. And the ark of Yah was in the field of the Philistines for 7 new moons. And the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, What do we do with the ark of Yah? Let us know what we should send it to its place. And they said, If you send away the ark of the Elohim of Israel, do not send it empty, but you shall certainly return it to him with a guilt offering. Then you are going to be healed, and it shall be known to you why his hand does not turn aside from you. And they said, What is the guilt offering which we return to him? And they answered, The number of the princes of the Philistines, 5 golden tumors, and 5 golden rats. For the same plague was on all of you and on your princes. And you shall make images of your tumors, and images of your rats that ruin the land. And you shall give esteem to the Elohim of Israel. It could be that he does lift his hand from you, from your mighty ones, and from your land. And why do you harden your hearts as the Mitzrites and Pharaoh hardened their hearts? When he had severely dealt with them, did they not send them away, and they went? And now take and make a new wagon, and 2 milk cows, which have never been yoked, and hitch the cows to the wagon, and take their calves home, away from them. And take the ark of Yah, and put it on the wagon, and put the objects of gold which you are returning to him as a guilt offering in a chest by its side, and send it away, and it shall go. And you shall see, if it goes up the way to its own border, to Beth Shemesh, then he has done us this great evil. But if not, then we shall know that his hand has not come against us. It was an accident. An accident it was to us." And the men did so, and took 2 milk cows, and hitched them to the wagon, and shut up their calves at home. And they put the ark of Yah on the wagon, and the chest of gold with the gold rats, and the images of their tumors. And the cows went straight for the way to Beth Shemesh, and went along the highway, bellowing as they went, and did not turn aside right or left. And the princes of the Philistines went after them to the border of Beth Shemesh. And they of Beth Shemesh were reaping their wheat harvest in the valley. And they lifted their eyes and saw the ark, and rejoiced to see it. And the wagon came into the field of Joshua of Beth Shemesh, and stood there. And there was a great stone. So they split the wood of the wagon, and offered the cows as an ascending offering to Yah. And the Levites took down the ark of Yah, and the chest that was with it, in which were the objects of gold, and put them on the great stone. And the men of Beth Shemesh offered ascending offerings and slaughterings the same day to Yah. And when the 5 princes of the Philistines saw it, they returned to Ekron the same day. Sorry. And these are the gold tumors which the Philistines returned as a gold offering to Yah: 1 for Ashdod, 1 for Azal, 1 for Ashkelon, 1 for Gath, and 1 for Ekron. And the gold rats, by the number of all the cities of the Philistines, belonged to the 5 princes, both walled cities and country villages, even as far as the great meadow on which they placed the ark of Yah, remain to this day in the field of Yahushua of Beth Shemesh. And he struck among the men of Beth Shemesh, for they had looked into the ark of Yah. He struck among the people 70 men, and the people mourned because Yah struck among the people a great smiting. And the men of Beth Shemesh said, "Who is able to stand before this set apart Yah Elohim? And whom shall he go? And to whom shall he go from us? And to whom shall he go from us?" And they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kiriath Yearim, saying, "The Philistines have brought back the ark of Yah. Come down, take it up to you." 1 Samuel 7. And the men of Kiriath Yearim came and took the ark of Yah, and brought it into the house of Abinadab on the hill, and set apart Eleazar his son to guard the ark of Yah. And it came to be, from the day that the ark remained in Kiriath Yearim, that the time increased. It came to be 20 years. And all the house of Israel lamented after Yah. And Shemuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, "If you return to Yah with all your hearts, then put away the foreign mighty ones and Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts for Yah, and serve him only, so that he delivers you from the hand of the Philistines." And the children of Israel put away the Baals and the Ashtaroth, and served Yah only. And Shemuel said, "Gather all Israel to Mitzvah, and let me pray to Yah for you." And they gathered to Mitzvah, and drew water, and poured it out before Yah. And they fasted that day, and said there, "We have sinned against Yah." And Shemuel rightly ruled the children of Israel at Mitzvah. And when the Philistines heard that the children of Israel had gathered together at Mitzvah, the princes of the Philistines went up against Israel. And the children of Israel heard of it, and were afraid of the Philistines. And the children of Israel said to Shemuel, "Do not cease to cry out to Yah our Elohim for us, that he would save us from the hand of the Philistines." And Shemuel took a suckling lamb, and offered it as an ascending offering, completely, to Yah. And Shemuel cried out to Yah for Israel, and Yah answered him. And it came to be, as Shemuel offered up the ascending offering. The Philistines drew near to battle against Israel. But Yah thundered with a great noise on that day on the Philistines, and troubled them, and they were smitten before Israel. And the men of Israel went out from Mitzvah, and pursued the Philistines, and struck them as far as below Beeth-kar. And Shemuel took a stone, and set it up between Mitzvah and Shin, and called its name Eben Hezer, saying, Thus far Yah has helped us. Thus the Philistines were humbled, and no longer came into the border of Israel. And the hand of Yah was against the Philistines all the days of Shemuel. And the cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel were returned to Israel, from Ekron to Gath. And Israel recovered its border from the hands of the Philistines, and there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. And Shemuel rightly ruled Israel all the days of his life. Each year he made the rounds of Bethel, Gilgal, Mitzvah, and rightly ruled Israel in all those places. Then he returned to Ramah, for his home was there. And there he rightly ruled Israel. And there he built a slaughter place to Yah. 1 Samuel 8. And it came to be, when Shemuel was old, that he made his sons rulers over Israel. And the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second, Abijah, rulers in Beersheba. But his sons did not walk in his ways, and turned aside after their own gain, and took bribes, and twisted right ruling. And all the elders of Israel gathered together, and came to Shemuel at Ramah, and said to him, Look, you are old, and your sons do not walk in your ways. Now, appoint for us a sovereign to rule us like all the nations. But the word was evil in the eyes of Shemuel, when they said, Give us a sovereign to rule us. So Shemuel prayed to Yah. And Yah said to Shemuel, Listen to the voice of the people, and all that they say to you. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from ruling over them, according to all the works which they have done, since the day that I brought them up out of Mitzrayim, even to this day, forsaking me and serving other mighty ones. So they are doing to you too. And now listen to their voice, but you shall certainly warn them, and make known to them the ruling of the sovereign who does reign over them. And Shemuel spoke all the words of Yah to the people, who asked him for a sovereign, and said, This is the ruling of the sovereign who does reign over you. He shall take your sons, and appoint them for his own chariots, and to be his horsemen, and they shall run before his chariots. And appoint commanders over his thousands, and commanders over his 50s, or to plow his ground, and to reap his harvest, or to make his weapons, and equipment for his chariots. And your daughters he is going to take to be for perfumers, and cooks, and bakers. And the best of your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive trees, he is going to take, and give them to his servants. And 1/10 of your grain, and your vintage, he is going to take, and give it to his officers and servants. And your male servants, and your female servants, and your best young men, and your donkeys, he is going to take, and use for his own work. 1/10 of your sheep he is going to take, and you are to be his servants. And you shall cry out in that day because of your sovereign, whom you have chosen for yourselves. But Yah is not going to answer you in that day. However, the people refused to listen to the voice of Shemuel, and said, No, but let a sovereign be over us. Then we shall be, we also, like all the nations, and our sovereign shall rule us, and go out before us, and fight our battles. And Shemuel heard all the words of the people, and he repeated them in the hearing of Yah. And Yah said to Shemuel, Listen to their voice, and make them a sovereign. And Shemuel said to the children of Israel, Each of you go to his city.